If we define India factor is that India is intervening in Bangladesh domestic politics. Former Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Mr. Momen, he once, while talking to the press, said that he went to Delhi and requested Delhi after this election. Bangladesh can expect a proper solution of Tista issue.
Americans doesn't understand that RAB had been instrumental to control the extremism and fundamentalism in Bangladesh.
Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj, welcome again for the third part of this interview series that we are conducting. And in this part, as we agreed to talk on India-Bangladesh bilateral relationship. And India and Bangladesh, the two neighboring countries, a strong partnership that these two countries have developed over the last couple of decades, and it's of course looking for more prosperous relationship in the future. You as an academic and as a professor of Jawaharlal Nehru University have supervised several students who are working on India-Bangladesh foreign policy and relationships, and also you often speaks and provide commentary on these particular topic. So far, what do you think? What's the current status of India-Bangladesh relationship?
See, if I put in perspective that you correctly said that India and Bangladesh, they have developed a close developmental partnership. They are working in the very constructively, very positively for all the developmental projects for the betterment of the two people. In fact, when you are analyzing that, I put that there are three layers of the relationship that had been in the past and working. One is that the macro level. If you will see that two governments at the macro level, two governments, they have been doing all kinds of arrangements for the development. Particularly, if I'll say at the while you are talking about the interactions with at the apex levels between the head of the government or head of the or prime ministers or presidents or ministers, visits, and the high officials, foreign secretary or other secretaries, they are regular interactions, dialogues, discussions between the two countries, number one. Number two, while you will see that a number of developmental projects that has been cultivated, signed between the two countries, particularly after 2010 when Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she visited to India, and we have signed a comprehensive development cooperation agreement, and that has provided that we will resolve all the bilateral irritants, and we will work in the regional framework. And under that agreement, you can see that most of the contentious issues has been resolved. Particularly, one is land boundary agreements that has been contentious from 1974. It was not implemented, but in 2011 a protocol on land boundary agreement was signed between when Manmohan Singh came, but it has been rectified by the Indian Parliament in 2015. And that land boundary agreement has basically that around 6.5 kilometers border was undemarcated. There were people, stateless peoples living in the enclaves, that has also been resolved. Adverse possessed land has also been resolved. There are another verdict of the maritime disputes by the international court that has also been well accepted. My point is there on trade, on you can say border, on water, Feni River, and all that we have resolved amicably. So if you will see at the macro level, the two governments are doing very constructively, very positively to come out with all the irritants and to have a constructive developmental tie. At the meso level, there are also interactions, particularly if you can say that academic institutions, the journalists, media, civil society people, even the people they are coming and meeting for the treatment or other people's, that is also fantastically going on. The good number of scholarship had been introduced by the Indian government to the Bangladeshi students, around 300 scholarship. There are also training programs. Number of things are taking place to at the meso level. Still, there are a scope to develop, cultivate closer relations at the micro level. People-to-people contact is very less, and for that, the Indian government is trying to resolve these issues, particularly issuing more visa, liberalizing visa regime to the Bangladeshi nationals. Every month, you can say around 1.5 to 2 lakh people they are issued the Indian visa. They can be increased so that there will be more interaction between the two people. Now the problem is that whatever is happening at the macro level, at the government level, that by the some social media, or you can say some people, they are not liking the government and ideology and the government into power, they are miscommunicating at the mass levels, they spreading things. So I think what is most important, the aspects that is lacking is that the lack of public diplomacy, that what India and Bangladesh are doing has not been correctly disseminated to the mass level, and people do not know what is happening. If India is developing a Rampal thermal power projects, and that would produce 1320 megawatts of electricity, but some of the activists, they are making that it is a threat to the environment and all that, though the heights of the chimney has increased. Number one, the projects, that connectivity projects India has taken place. India has extended $10 billion of line of credit, a different $8 billion that has been given by the different projects, but 2 has been given by high social impact projects. One is Mongla Kholna rail connectivity and Rampal thermal power projects, and second was Akhura Agartala rail connectivity. These are the another projects there. So it makes 10 billion line of credit to connect this region, to bridge this region, so that Bangladesh and Indian economy can integrate. That has been misinterpreted, that whatever the line of credit is coming, that India will use as a transit to reach to the northeast. But they are not understanding that the infrastructure taking place in Bangladesh, that would flourish to the Bangladesh economy. This has not been taught properly. Whenever your Bangladesh Prime Minister goes to India, and when she comes, there is always in the newspaper and social media that a secret deal has been done. And I have heard for last 30 years, but I did not find which secret deal has been done by now. So these are the things I think need to be addressed by both the governments, that the correct information has to be disseminated among the common people, so that no anti-Indianism flourish in Bangladesh. For that, I think the issues, the things should be taken to the local level institutions, academic institutions, colleges, schools, that to tell the truth about that what the two governments are doing.
So, Professor, you have rightly mentioned that at the government level, the relationship is very good. You have also mentioned the necessity of public diplomacy, that whatever going on between the government level, the information needs to disseminate properly to the people, to build awareness, to build trust, and to counter propaganda. Now, keeping that in the context, I would like to bring this particular issue for the discussion. That is, and I would like to refer this from your article that you wrote from the Indian Express on India Out campaign, the India factor. And if I am correctly recalling, in the introduction, you said that because of the current context of political complexities, and as Awami League has ensured the 4 times victory in the election, many believe that everything was happened because India factor played an important role, which paved the way for India Out campaign. I mean, if I understood it correctly. So, if we define India factor, is that India is intervening in Bangladesh domestic politics That's what, I'm putting it in a quotation, that's what opposition and particularly many activists promote and argue. What's your take on that?
No, I think I would say this is misconception. This has been construed by the you can say who so-called who do the anti-Indian cultivate the anti-Indian constituency for their political benefits. India understands 2-3 very important aspects. First thing, that Bangladeshis are very conscious about their sovereignty and territorial integrity. They have sacrificed 3 million people in 1971 to get Bangladesh independent. So India understands that thing that nobody can intervene in the internal affairs of Bangladesh. Number 2, that India also understands that Bangladesh, the people, when they were their ethos and values and sovereignty and anything when is in danger, they revolt. They revolted against Pakistan in 1952. They revolted in 1971. They revolted against the military regime in 1989. They revolted against military in 2007, and again Shahbag movement and all that you have seen. So they are very conscious about that nobody can intervene in internal affairs of Bangladesh and can dictate at least the people. Third very important aspects, that is, India, while you are looking this, we are part of common ecological system. We have transnational, civilizational, cultural, lingual affinities. There are complex interdependencies. India had been instrumental while the Bangladeshi people were fighting for their liberation in 1971 to help them to become independent. So it is obvious that India will remain as a factor in Bangladesh politics and even foreign policy. Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman also said that India will be cornerstone of Bangladesh foreign policy. So my point is there, that India will remain a factor because of the complex socio-political, economic interdependencies or spillover impact on each other.
But to what extent? Because
I'm coming on.
Because I just want to give you a footnote. Former Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Mr. Momen, he once, while talking to the press, said that he went to Delhi and requested Delhi to keep the PM Hasina in power for the next term as well. Of course, I do understand this kind of a statement is very irresponsible coming from a former foreign minister. But then how common people will understand when these things are coming from people with powerful positions?
I think if he said, I didn't heard that he is requesting that thing. If he was in that illusion, I think he is also part of the illusions that few of the Bangladeshis they have, that India dictates that who will the prime minister and who will. It is not, because in 1991 Khaleda Zia came into power. In 1996 Sheikh Hasina came into power. Again in 2001 Khaleda Zia came into power. So it is not like there is a change of guard and this and moreover it is considered that BNP takes anti-India posture, but BNP was ruling the country for two terms. So my point is there that this is all illusion that India is determining the political fate of Bangladesh. Number one. Number two, I can say that this is happening, that why the extra regional powers intervenes if there is any scope, and determines that because your democratic institutions are weak. Your position, your opposition and the positions, they are not playing their fair role. You cannot determine or dictate the oppositions and positions by violent means. What Khaleda Zia did against Sheikh Hasina from 2001 to 2006, there were clear-cut attempt to assassinate her. There were grenade attack on Sheikh Hasina. So my point is there that when you will do the confrontational politics and you will have zero tolerance towards the opposition political parties, then the institutions will not be strengthened. When you will manipulate to come into power, what happened in Magura election? What happened while they have increased the age of the retirement age of the judges in 2006? What happened when you have you have appointed your own BNP person as the chief election commission? My point is there that your institutions, when you will temper, you will damage your democratic institutions, then there makes an scope to intervene the extra regional powers or regional powers in your domestic affairs. When Americans, they were sanctioning and linking your RAB with the visa and with the human rights, Americans doesn't understand that RAB had been instrumental to control the extremism and fundamentalism in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a peaceful society. Bangladesh is now developing very well, because this is the investors, they find that Bangladesh is a good place to invest. It is because your elite forces that they have controlled all kinds of crime that has been flourished. So my point is there that I think the Bangladeshi people, they themselves are very conscious, and nobody can intervene, including India, in the internal affairs, and this is all illusion. Of course, there are common interest between India and Bangladesh. We are taking care of each other while we are making policies and while we are deciding the relations with other countries.
I do agree with you that of course there should be responsibilities from the leaders while they are talking, as well as you see, Professor Bhardwaj, what happens is that when people leading political parties and cabinets, when they say things, then it's become very complex and complicated for the common people to understand that deeply as well. Now, bringing that point to the next step, you have rightfully mentioned that because of the collaboration between the Bangladesh government and Indian government, there were several problems that we have solved, and one of the problem was the Ganges water sharing problem, and this was of course, I would not say it was always win-win for everyone, but if we think in terms of problem, and if we think from a realist point of view, that both states acted upon their own interest, and then they came to a point of negotiation, sit together to come up with a framework to solve a problem. They have come up with a framework. We see similar success in another one, which is the enclave sharing issues. So for at least 4 decades, the people of Bangladesh and people of India, those who were living in enclaves, they had a life of like prison, because by the evening, they are in the prison, they can't cross their land, and by morning, okay, fine, they can cross the land. It's such a limbo, and there were a full stop. We were able to put a full stop in that situation because the Indian government and Bangladesh government, they collaborated. So these are very bright perspective of this good relationship. However, as Bangladeshi, and many Bangladeshis are very concerned about the border killing for 2 reasons. One is this thing, Bangladesh-India border is not identified as a war zone, as like LOC between India and Pakistan, or like India or China. So it's a pretty much peaceful border. But then even though it's a peaceful border, then why there were like killings, and why we are not able to stop it? What is actually stopping us to stop these things in the border?
Let me come to add two more positive aspects that we have. Land boundary, a part of land boundary, Ganges water. We have been also cooperating in energy sectors. We have promised that India will export more than 2100 megawatts of electricity to Bangladesh. We have also developed India-Bangladesh oil pipeline, Maitri oil pipeline from Numaligarh to Banglabanda. We are also given almost duty-free access to all the Bangladeshi goods. These are all positive aspects. You can see, and and because of the line of credits, you can see that your Bangladesh Road Transport Corporation has become a profit making now. Earlier was in the profit loss. Now they are making profits. Your office efficiency and your infrastructure and has also improved in railway and buses through locomotives, double decker buses, all Tata engines and all that. You can see number of things. These are very positively contributed while in the economic growth of Bangladesh. Ganges we have resolved, but you're talking about the border killings and all that. That has I have been hearing. We are not in 70s, we are not in 80s, we are not in 2000, 2001 and all that. I think these issues were very serious earlier, but now there are very less, and that is also that it is no innocent person is killed. Only the people who are doing smugglings, involved in the cross-border smugglings, either they are drug traffickers or the human traffickers, or they are involved in illegal activities across border, and they are doing in the nights. Maybe some of them they have become the victim, they become the targets of the border security forces. But there are also, Indian government is very conscious to use the rubber bullets to deal with these issues, and we are fencing in a way that no illegal activities take place across the border. And I think we will institutionalize the border, we will make it economic border, we will make it political border, so that the channel, the way we are upgrading the checkpost, the way we are upgrading the transit points and all that, will definitely resolve regulate all these issues. One very important issue that I think you missed, that is the contentious issues after Ganges water. We have signed Feni, but still Teesta water issue.
I'll be coming to the Teesta issue, but before I would like to talk more about this border killing, because yes, I mean often Indian academics and intellectuals, they say that most of the killing happens in the night or like later of the day, and identify like a time zone, and that they relate with the crimes and the cross-border smuggling. I do understand that dimension. I would not deny that, because of course cross-border smuggling happens. But there are examples which clearly shows that maybe those cases are not like cross-border smuggling. Like one of the cases, felony, a famous case of a young lady who,
20 years ago.
Very recently, like 3 weeks back, two BSF members, they came in the Bangladesh side, and it was on record. Actually, this video became very viral in social media, that they were firing towards a farmer who was running away. Now, this is on record video. What I am trying to say to you is that since we know that these borders are very complex, since we know that this smuggling happens, and it's kind of open secret that these smugglings and the benefit of that smuggling goes to the local political syndicate that is located both in the Indian side as well as in the Bangladesh side. Can we at least come to a consensus that no matter it's criminal or not, a citizen either of India or Bangladesh should not be killed in the border, neither by Bangladesh nor by India?
No, that's very, very, very good question. That you have talked about the citizen of India and citizen of Bangladesh should not be killed. But it is, nobody is giving the guarantee that a third country citizen can also cross the border.
Yeah.
That is also a possibility, and India is very sensitive about these issues, because India has been suffering from terrorism. All these issues, arms smuggling, fake currency rackets, there are number of rackets are going on. I think India, they are very conscious about these issues. If Bangladeshi innocent people, that should not be killed. I also believe, I also want a humanitarian border, and very, very there should be sustainable peace across the border, and the people, innocent people, they are working. This is one thing. Second thing, that Indian government has been working to resolve these issues since long, and increasing jurisdictions, even increasing the surveillances and informations across the border between the police, between the BGB and BSF and all that. That is, but one very interesting. This is porous border, and it changed the course. It's changed the course with the river flow. When there is rainfall, then the river changed the course and the border changed itself, the boundaries. So, and the BSF people, they are not all Bengali. They do not understand Bengali language. They are posted from different parts of the country. They speak Hindi, they speak Tamil, Telugu and whatever. So maybe they are not understanding that border very comfortably. It takes the time to that which part of falls in India, which part falls in Bangladesh. And if you go in the ground, then you will realize that the way the people. So that and because of that, maybe the killings are taking place. That should not take. I do not justify those killings. The killings is killing, and that should not happen. But need to have more strong mechanism to identify the people, and should not encourage. Even the local people should not encourage these transnational smugglers and all that. So that once the confidence will build across the border, there will be no problem. We are now introducing border hearts. Already 4 border hearts had been introduced. 2 more will be introduced so that people can buy the local products from each other. So once we will have a regulated border, will resolve all these issues. But and I hope that no killing should take place in.
Yeah, and particularly since you were referring the security issue that India often face in terms of terrorism and insurgency, local insurgency. If I'm not wrong, Bangladesh government provided unconditional support to India to control insurgency and security threats in the northeastern borders, northeastern states, and also like West Bengal border areas. And Bangladesh government also helped to through the proper channel to help India to capture their own the people that they term as terrorists. So those are the things. And one of my Indian journalist friend was once telling me that, see, if you look at the Indian security budget dedicated to the northeastern states security, before like 10 years back, it was higher than now. Why is that? It's because the Bangladesh, the help that they provided, that helped India to reduce the security budget and also the manpower that was deployed there. So this is actually a big help that Bangladesh did. And I think in terms of that, Bangladesh can also expect that the border would be more humanly and that the 2 states could work together.
No, I do agree with you that, it is by these policies, by these measures that I said about Rapid Action Battalion, RAB and all that in Bangladesh, it has not only secured Bangladesh, but it has also secured India's northeast. And that credit goes to your present ruling government, that they have been very strong, very harsh, these violent non-state actors. So, and that's why this region is flourishing and doing well in that. The second point, you correctly said that this defense budget will be used for the developmental work. Developmental work for both the countries. And if it would be zero at the defense budget, and we do not have that kind of strict on India-Nepal border, and I hope that it would not happen on India-Bangladesh border in future, and all the budgets will be utilized and there will be no killing.
There will be no killing. Of course. My concluding question would be on a particular topic which is very dear to Bangladeshi citizen and also to the political groups in Bangladesh, and that is there in the political spectrum for some long time. Tista. Of course, there are other 53 rivers that we need to talk about, but Tista has become a very my boy kind of topic that we are discussing, and for a long time. India is having another election. It's expected that Mr. Modi would be resuming its power after the election if everything goes as per the predictions that we are seeing around us. Now, do you think if after this election, Bangladesh can expect a proper solution of Teesta issue?
I do agree. Indian foreign policy is factored by two more important institutions. One is the coalition politics of India, and another is the federal politics of India. Since Bangladesh is bordering with West Bengal, and West Bengal is bordering with Bangladesh, and Teesta flow through West Bengal to Bangladesh. So West Bengal is very important factor finalizing, concluding Teesta deal. And if you correctly remember that in 2011, when Manmohan Singh was coming to Dhaka, he was all set to Mamata Banerjee did not join that delegations, and this could not. Bangladeshis were very happy that whatever they were expecting, they were getting more in Teesta. This has been trapped into the politics of Bengal. That who will, if Teesta, because basically if you will release more water to Bangladesh, then the northern Bengal, that they are expecting water from Murshidabad, Malda, and that would be reduced, and so they will lose their political support, their political constituency. So neither Mamata Banerjee is coming and supporting to sign the Teesta deal, and Indian government cannot do without Mamata Banerjee. So this issue has stuck in between the state and center. I hope that tomorrow there will be coordination between the state and the center, or there will be similar government in center and the state will be resolved. Because if you remember, Ganges water was signed because Jyoti Basu and Devagowda was in the Prime Minister of India in the center. They were having that kind of tuning. Jyoti Basu had taken lead to sign this Ganges water, and that has become one of the successful treaty in between India and Bangladesh. I hope that let the West Bengal government take the lead to resolve this Teesta, and they have constituted a committee, Rudra Kalyan committee and all that, but I don't know why they could not come out and could not take the initiatives. So it is basically, moreover, the issue has been halted because of the West Bengal politics that has not come in positive, constructive way to resolve. I hope this should be resolved, so that would give more energy to India-Bangladesh relations for better future.
Thank you, Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj, for your time and attending the third part of our interview on India-Bangladesh relationship.
Thank you very much again.